Hello everyone, good morning. Here we are for another Sambafying Saturday sessions. Thank you for being here with me. And there are a few people here already. Below Bill, Michigan. I haven't been in Michigan yet, so I definitely would love to. Thanks for being here with us in a live stream. If you have another, like a question already, just feel free to, had that going. I am trying. Hello, Daniel. Happy to be with you for the live. Great. Thank you for being here, Danielle. Peter is already here early, early on. I am trying, and Mark is also here. Thanks for being here, brother. I am testing a little bit of a thing here, so bear with me for a second, okay? Because I am trying to test a way to display these comments on a more not only fashionable manner, but very practical for me, because I have to do this with the mouse all the time to highlight comments. And now I kind of got a nice shortcut here. Hello, Sounds of Aries. This is Manuel. Hello, Manuel. Thank you for being here. And I'm just trying to find out a way to actually, what can I say? To actually hide the comments whenever they expire a little bit. Let me do something here real quick. So bear with me for just 1 second while I fix this real quick. This will not take long, I promise. I'm just copying pasting stuff here, and they all should be great. Let me see if this works. Yes, there we go. Hello, Jorge. I'm doing great. Thanks for being here. Of course, it's a pleasure to be here. We got a question already. What is the rhythm Jobim uses on this song? It seems to me neither a bossa nor a samba. We'll take a look at that right now, Mark. Let me see if I can display that. It seems that it will work, so that's great. Today we're going to take a look at another really famous song, at least in Brazil. It's like a beautiful song called Você Vai Ver, which means you're about to see, or you're going to see, or something like that. You're about to see, or wait and see, something like that. And it's a beautiful bossa nova. Let's take a look at that right now. So here's the chart from the Jobim songbook. In 2/2, in cut time, as we see in the first version Jobim songbook. A lot of these bossas and sambas are in 2/2, but not 4. 2/4 or 2/2. So there's a little intro, and the rhythm that we're looking for is the syncopation figure we talk about all the time, and it is there in cut time. As you can see, there's an intro, so the bar before the double bar, that's the figure right there. 8/4/8, ta ta ta. That's the figure that, if you transfer to cut time, that's what it is. 8/4/8 into 4 will be 16/8/16. Ta 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 ti ba de ba ba. And there it is. This song actually has that figure around, as you can see, but it also has 8 notes on this case with ties, and those correspond to the 16 notes with ties, which are great rhythm for us to play the melody. It's perfect for what we're doing. So this one actually kind of came in sort of baked in already, all those rhythms for us to mess around. Let me me just play that for you. Then I think something like this. It's kind of the intro. So the actual tunes. Freely, right, for now. Then second pass. Bit of a call, you know, like coda, a little bit of a tag, right? So that's the tune. As far as the rhythm, those rhythms are kind of perfect for what you want to do. You have the syncopation figure in place in there, like the very beginning, the pickup note. There, the syncopation figure, and when you have that continuous, in this case 8 notes with ties, is perfect, because that keeps the motion going. So this melody is already sort of ripe for sambification. It's already, you know, a melody that we can go ahead and start doing that thing that we do. Yeah, as you can see, the 8 note equals or matches in cut time, match the 16 notes, right? D, 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 da, 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 in 2/4, and that's what we want to operate under. And then you have the syncopation figure, in this case here, 8/4/8. You can see around the piece equals, corresponds to 16/8/16 in 2/4. So this is sort of ready for us to start messing around. The only thing here, again, the melody is busy enough, active enough to grant the groove for us, grant us the actual motion of the groove. So I'm not gonna be playing much of the groove, I'm just gonna be acting with the melody. If I put again the top against the bottom, I'll have rhythm. There is the only thing that is a little different, that little tie, but it's syncopated, so it's great for us. Perfect. And then sort of the design of this melody is just really easy to get the thing that we do here. It's ready to go. And fast. Now we have the infamous triplet. And here we should change it, or just kind of go with it, just a little triplet there. So but know that if you do that, the groove is gonna kind of lift, right, and be a little loose, right? You have to stop the groove. There's no way to do it. If you wanna keep the motion forward, right, then you put the figure. On this case, 8/4/8, right? Or in this case, all 8 notes, right? Just like the other figures, that's already built into the tune. Yeah, as far as the rhythm, let me go back to my main thing here. As far as the rhythm, so coming back to Mark's question, what's the rhythm Jobim uses on this song? It seems to be neither a bossa nor a samba. The rhythm is, these figures are the figures that we want to see there, right? We have the 16-note grid thing with like a bunch of 8 notes, on this case, cut time. And we have that figure that in cut time is the 8/4/8. So as far as defining if it's samba or bossa nova, it's going to be a little bit of a detail, but the framework for the tune, either samba or bossa nova, is working for us here. So it's ready to do the thing. As far as the syncopation goes, I would say I'll play as a samba, just because you don't have that strong thing on the downbeat. You already start with a syncopation there. So probably start with the samba groove, 1 and 2 and I will start with that, and the melody already gives me the little lift on the syncopation, but every little point of contact, if you will, this melody changes the cycle. It always has that 8 note with the tie, so it's definitely leaning towards a samba groove. That's what I would play here, Mark. So as far as the key, not a really awesome key as far as melody goes. The melody is going to be a little bit kind of in the middle register, you know. So so I have like not a lot of options, kind of like in the very limit, you know. Here, for instance, I have to give up the minor thirds of the chords, or then just jump the whole thing an octave there. And then it becomes cool here. So that little spot there in the middle, it just bothers me a little bit. So I also wanted to do a few reharms, you know, on the some tricks, right? Gotta have some tricks on the live stream. So for the tricks, you won't be so awesome in this key. So I am going to push the key a little bit further. So I'm gonna add a whole step. So we're gonna play in G major, you know. I also get the great guitar key, G major instead of F, say. Open strings. And then here, when I have that little kind of tough place, I still have the option to play the A minor with the third in the bass. So that's why I'm choosing to play in G, just a little bit of an easier maneuver. And let me already check the tuning, because it is getting colder here in Colorado, and the dry weather is not really gentle with the guitars. It's like the guitars are already getting all the action is all over the place. It's low. It's like I gotta take it to the shop. So let's get a question here. I have noticed, Jorge, have noticed that you often play with open strings. A question: if you need to change the tonality to use a capo, or how do you achieve the same finish with open strings? That's a great question, Jorge. I am not a big fan of using capo. I had a few rants about capos before. There's some podcast videos of mine talking about why I don't use a capo, at least in this thing that I do. And the question and the argument is simple. I need to be able to be challenged by a different key, meaning when I limit myself, I discover different options. I kind of open myself to different possibilities because I have to figure out solutions that otherwise I wouldn't see if I just put a capo right there. So it kind of cripples the creativity a little bit in my case. I want to be free to be limited and explore the limitations of whatever key I'm using, One argument for the capo, in favor of the capo, is you have something super idiomatic, like with riffs and things that you do open strings on. This kind of thing is a very open string type of idiomatic. And let's say, you play your song, you're a male and you sing in a certain key, and then you're like gonna play this song, and there's like a singer, like a female singer that sings in a complete different range and key that you do, and you want to maybe preserve the same riffs and the same sort of character of those riffs and that arrangement, then the capo would be a great solution. Just kind of put the capo here and and then you do that, right? But I always want to challenge myself to look differently to a different key and then open. If I was playing this just little riff I was doing here, right? And this is in D major, and then let's say that someone wants to play in, I don't know, A flat major. It's like a really weird key, but sometimes you find those. And then I will I will challenge myself to and then I will find, I don't know, different things or different ideas to play. One thing that I do a lot is, let's say, take a standard, like a jazz standard. I challenge myself to play in a really weird key that I never played before. Just change the key. If you play, I don't know, Stella, right? Right, you play a certain way in this key. That's in B flat. Let's say that I want to play in F sharp major, like a really weird, kind of different key, right? So there's already a few opportunities to some open strings, okay, cool. Have a complete different perspective on Stella playing this key, because I got all these new open strings that I haven't even seen it, and opportunities and voicings and counter melodies will present themselves to me if I'm open to sort of thread this particular treble C, if you will, you know, a different key is like a weird F sharp kind of brighter key, or darker if you're thinking G flat, but you get the point. So the fact that I open myself to play in a really odd key for the guitar, it will start weird. Okay, I don't have my kind of open string, cool, but later, and then I'll have. All kinds of new possibilities that opened themselves because I was willing to go the route of the hard choice, if you will, you know. So that's why I don't use a capo. I guess that's just this long answer, but I want to allow myself to be cornered into a situation where I have limited resources to play that same thing, and that limitation will output, like a solution will present itself to me when I'm working it. But it takes work, right? You gotta work on it. But while you're working, you're discovering so many new things, different paths, different voice leading, reharms that were not available to me. There's like tunes that I play nowadays, a few of those tricks that I share here a lot, like on these live streams. A lot of them came up because I was playing on a different key. It's like, oh, I haven't thought of this particular substitution here. But in this key, I have this open string that now, wow, there's like this nice pedal thing I can do now with my B string or whatever, right? So, long answer now was, yes, that's why I don't use a capo, because it cripples me into being creative. It kind of kills the creativity. So I just try to create a total different thing in a different key. If there's a particular arrangement that, as I said, as a exception to the rule, if there's a thing or a new arrangement that needs to be maintained with the same kind of melodic thing that just needs to be transposed, then boom, yeah, put a capo, go. But by default, I don't use it. There's always an open string somewhere for me to play. So thank you for the question, brother. All right, back to Você Vai Ver. Well, as far as the rhythm, there's not much else that we can talk about because it's really easy. The rhythm is just there for us for the kill, right? The rhythm is really ready for us to start exploring. Thank you, I appreciate the question, man. So that concludes the first portion of the live, the sort of the framework of the melody and everything, how we're gonna put all together. The melody is ready to be played, and you don't have to play much of the groove. But there are moments here where the melody is resting. I can see again here. Let's say in the the E flat thing there, and the D7, D sus, but here there's a big rest in the melody there, like a long melody. Here the groove is the king, and then you play back to the melody there. So we are playing in G major now. There will be little thing about the now that we heading into the harmony part, the second part now. Okay, I just decided then we are in the harmony part now. Sorry, I was transitioning and I haven't made a proper transition. This is for the video editor that is gonna cut later. This is the harmony part. So back to the harmony. There is a moment there. There's a little bit of a chromatic movement here, and I want to address that a little bit. It's on the first pass. Let's just keep in this key, first pass, right on the first pass. this puts these major chords parallel. I personally play the second chord minor. I don't play both majors. I play as sort of an approximation, like a chromatic approach, the same minor thing. I don't play that A flat 7. Just a disclaimer. So in G, so B major, and then B flat minor, A minor, back. Alright, cool. So as far as harmony, I am basically playing the same harmony, not really messing around with the overall arrangement as in terms of harmony, but there is stuff that you can do, some really really small but really meaningful tricks here that I play on this tune. And usually, since the melody repeats itself, right, I usually on the second repeat, right, when the melody repeats, I try to dress a few spots with a different harmony. So this part here, the first thing I'm doing already is the original harmony, talks about a minor 7 flat 5, aka half diminished, right? There's always the half diminished chord. In this key, for instance, I'm choosing to use just a regular minor 9/11. It's just a cool color, sometimes when I have a chance to play the open G, I do, but I am kind of doing this nice voice, just minor 9/11, whatever. So this part, so just F major that goes to E sus. I am substituting that chord here now. So this is a classic one, right? It's been like, I don't know, 2 consecutive lives I'm doing that trick, the chromatic minor 11, minor 9/11 thing, because this melody is kind of there for the take, and I am going for it. So the rhythm of the melody has to be a little different, but I like to do that here. So original. I'm doing and then I'm back into F, instead of major I just do dominant to get me to the A minor. That's something that I'm doing there. Oh, here I'm doing minor here, right, instead of the major. Originally written as another major, I'm doing minor, closer to the A minor. Cool. And then okay, what else can I do there? Then the second repeat of the song, that's what I'm gonna do a little more. And what am I going to do? Check it out. Instead of doing this, I'm using that framework to do more stuff. So I'm going bunch of chords put in there, right? Just to make everything harder, but this seemed like a good opportunity to get more chords going. Since I have that note lingering for a little bit. So let's just break down what I did here. Just stay in G major. So I'm basically replacing G major for a bunch of things, right? And then we have a new thing. So within that G major, I'm putting all these chords. So I'm going just doing a G sharp or A flat, kind of altered, you know, sharp 5, sharp 9 kind of thing, right? And then eventually going to the G, right? So I'm basically doing an appoggiatura chord and then resolving the chord that I'm intending to resolve, right? And then I'm keeping so in that little space I am sort of cramping, like after the G major I'm just playing F sharp minor, F major 7 sharp 11 type of thing, and E minor. That's in the space of all that G major, because it just basically, if I could just like optimize, just kind of filter everything, right? Sort of the Schenkerian analysis version, if you nerd into the music analysis thing, I would just be left with G major, E minor, which is the relative minor, which you already know. So, and then going. Basically, that's the framework. Major chord, relative minor. That's kind of the core of this whole reharm thing. Which you can use those just two chords. I'm just putting more chords in between them, starting with one half step up from the G, which is the G sharp or A flat altered, right? And then putting two chords before the E minor. You know, so that's what's going on here. Instead of going to C sharp half diminished and F sharp, I am doing just a F sharp dominant parallel, which in this case it's a you know, sus4 flat 9, you know, F sharp, or if you want to think about it, E minor over F sharp, and then I am resolving F sharp 7, probably with the flat 9 as well. So basically resolving the fourth to the third. So and then I'm doing F sus 13, because I had that relationship I talked about in previous lives. 2 is 5, the same. I just changed the bass, right? So it gets me a little bit of a, you know, bit of a chromatic thing, the bass, right? Just something that I keep showing constantly on these live streams, harmonically speaking, right? Is the different route that you can take to sort of counteract the sort of labyrinth of the 2/5 jazz game, which is all these jumps of fifth and fourth, right? The opposite approach, right? The antidote to that, if you will, is to just play chromatic, like voice leading stuff, right? Either, you know, half step or whole step. That's kind of the opposite approach. So if something is already jumpy, you know, as far as the bass is, I try to bring the opposite as a contrast, right? That's what we're trying to do, just contrasting things. Second time we put in the melody, I can bring something different. And I'm resolving F7 again, which I get to E. So basically my bass is so my bass just stay on the 6th string, which is great. So that's a cool thing you can do there. And then here we go. We were supposed to go. That's what's going on there, but I'm not going there on the second time. That's a 2-5-1, right? A minor D7 to G, which doesn't go to G, goes to the 3, right? 5 of the 2. So there's a little alternate path there that you can use. That's what I'm about to do. So and then I arrive on the B minor. So instead of going to A D7, A minor D7, I did C sharp. And this chord is kind of an interesting thing there. Because I am thinking of basically a half diminish, aka actually minor 7 flat 5, right? And then I get the C minor 6, which is cool. But since the melody is here, I am just kind of going with it, which means I am thinking more of a C sharp minor 7 sharp 5. Which is a cousin of the flat 5, just sharp 5. And here I'm not thinking of this, like an Ed 9 kind of first inversion. I'm thinking of the actual minor 7 sharp 5 here, which I don't use much, but here I am doing. Whenever I have here's another tip for you guys. Whenever you have a minor 7 flat 5, the half diminished kind of chord, you can replace for the sharp 5 because it's just flat and then sharp. So you have this nice, nuanced variation, which is really cool. Instead of that classic thing that note stays on, right? That kind of thing, right? I can do. Keep the other note, the sharp 5, in the game as well. So you get like this slight different spice in there, That's something you can use too, So since the melody hints at that, I am going with it. So instead of arriving at B minor, I am doing, and then I get here, the same place but through a different angle. And I'm doing a little bit of a kind of a weirder version of that C minor 6. I'm putting the 7th as well, so a little nastier, very jazzy. So that will be C minor 7, kind of 13, add 13 or something like that. This is all in the tune. So that's it harmonically. What's going on there that I can do a little extra there, just a little spice, right? So that's what I'm using. Any questions that you guys have, just type it away. If you have any questions, I can put it here. Oh, we do have a lot here already. Thank you. Oh, just thank you, which I appreciate it, right? Thank you very much, Jesse. Thank you. So if you don't have a question, if you do, put it here. I will carry on with the solo version, like the improvisational portion of this live stream. So the way I set up my little play along thing is that 2 choruses. I'm gonna do 2 choruses. In the first chorus, it's all G major, by the way, then you keep working on the first pass, the first chorus. I'm gonna be keeping the harmony as close as possible to the original. So I'm doing repeat. Here I am doing the inserting that minor there. Then that's all I did. Then back to the second chorus. And then the second chorus, first pass, the same thing. And then the second repeat. When we repeat the melody, that's when I'm gonna put that kind of, you know, weird progression. I'm gonna do a rhythm like this one. Something like this. Sharp 5. So I'm gonna use that here. So just let you know what's going on there harmonically, because I am going to attempt to pass through this alternate path there in the solo, which is not easy, especially this. Let me try, okay? I'm not guaranteeing success, but I'm gonna try. Let's see if the recording is not gonna crash on me, my computer. I keep talking about my computer, so it's a sign that I need to get a new computer, I guess. So let's try. 2 choruses, you know the deal. I did mess up the F sus, man, and I'm bummed out. I think I need to do this again. I would love to. Well, I'm glad some of you liked it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me ask questions if you want. I will talk a little bit about what I did there. But let me just give you another shot, okay? That not bad, but I didn't fall right on this chord, and I'm like bummed about it. So let me try to do this again, okay? Now here we go. That was a little bit better, and at that time I did land on that F sharp sus flat 9. I did this time. It was okay, but it was better than the first one for sure. So as far as sounds and things that I'm using, basic, which is diatonic, right? Just kind of fall on the harmonic. Major here. This is a 2/5 to B, right? Sometimes I am going for like a B harmonic minor over that whole thing, or sometimes I am going for the half diminished kind of sound with a 9. So that's the Locrian 2, Locrian 9, the 6th mode of the melodic minor here. Thinking of E melodic minor here, right? Or Locrian 9 here. And then gonna go to F major instead, right? The deceptive there. Some good old Lydian there, then Mixolydian for the dominant chord. Sometimes I'm doing a flat 6, right? From the harmonic minor. Then here, on the A minor, Aeolian, or just thinking of G major. Although we're going to B minor, I'm still thinking G major, right? And Then here, ba-da-da-da-ba-da-da, the same thing of going to B minor, but in the landing I am of course adjusting for B major. And I was a little aware of that little motion that I changed the B flat chord from major to minor, so I did. So I am addressing that B flat major here, I have to. So and then 2-5 to G major, right? So we're back here. Then I will talk about the crazier part later, but sort of going to the ending. Same deal. Here I have to adjust the E instead of minor to the dominant thing. I am actually playing. I am going for a Lydian dominant here, like melodic minor, fourth mode melodic minor, because I have basically a dominant of the dominant here. And when I do that, baby, that's Lydian dominant all the way. No fear to be happy there. That's the Grofone Ipanema, the TK train thing, the desafinado, right? Or right, that's the one. Don't be afraid. Lydian dominant all the way. Or Mixolydian sharp 4, as you want to call this, or fourth mode melodic minor. On this case here, I am thinking of E melodic minor here, or A Lydian dominant here. So, and then then we got to this 5 of E, the 5 of the 6. Different things you can use here. I kind of use sometimes a little bit of, I did use a little bit of Mixolydian here, but in my comping, I use a little bit of a sharp 9, which gives me a little bit of a dominant diminished vibes going on here. So, right? I use that here. Is dominant to A minor. Different things I can use here. I did a diminished thing here, or altered scale here to go to A minor. In this case, I think he doesn't. I go back to A7, right? So I got that Lydian dominant sound. Then we're back in G major. Now for that weird part at the end there, when I did all those chords. Here, first of all, there's not a lot of time to play one scale or whatever to all the chords, because it's just too much, you know? So I try to pass through them a little bit, right? Little augmented type of sound here, right? With the sharp 9. So I am kind of on the altered scale here, right? That's just basically what's going on there, right? Little arpeggio, just basically little arpeggio of G major 9. Trying to arpeggiate the F sharp minor 11, F major 9, then E minor. So it's a lot to cover on this thing, so it happens fast. It's rough to put all that together. So I did a little bit of that, and then landed here. I did a little bit of a diminished kind of thing here because of the arpeggio I have available. All the times I did this, the third chain, but not this time. And then we land on the F sus. I just kind of went to the Mixolydian version of this. which is just B flat major. That's what I'm using here. And then mixolydian and E, sometimes a little diminished arpeggio here. And then when you get here, here I am thinking of the half diminished sound. Little half diminished arpeggio here. I didn't even go for the 9 this time, but you can. And then C melodic minor. Great choice here. And then just basically G major again. And then we got to that part I just talked about. So that's it. That's what I use on, I know it's a lot, but luckily we have a replay, right? So you can go back and kind of follow up slow by slow. I know that Mark does. He has all the notes on his sheet of paper there. That's pretty much what I did there. So this is the sort of reharm of Você Vai Ver. Not super reharm, I just put a few chords here and there. The song is great. I didn't want to, mess up the tune too much. So before we go to the last portion of the live stream, let's I got a question here. Let me see. Bill, a question about fingerboard mastery. When you change keys like you did here from F to G, how much work or time does it take you to remap a piece, or does your skill make a quick move? That's a great question, Bill. I just did that this morning when I just was pulling up the chart to see what I was going to talk about, over a little coffee. I was just opening up that and just saw that there was a little bit of an uncomfortable middle region there to play these melodies, because I was also focused on the last portion when I have to play solo guitar, the whole thing, play the melody. So it was, okay, let me try to keep as close as possible to that, but to not change much, but just to give me a little bit enough, room to be able to do it. And then I just played it, so it was a quick move, because I've been doing that for this sort of transfer, changing keys, fretboard. But as I was saying before, a question that Jorge asked before about capo and all that stuff. So this whole trick thing, it came up because I changed the keys, This happened because I changed the key, and I was, and I had this open string. If I was on the other key, I wouldn't have thought of that solution, because I wouldn't have that open string available. And then you see that's been a whole different thing for me. So here, I wouldn't have thought of Você Vai Ver, which sounds cool, but I wasn't triggered by that. I was triggered because I had the open string, and then that kind of span the whole thing, open strings, and find this pedal stuff. So you see I kind of tied with with Jorge's question, right? It's like you never know what the wind is gonna bring. So by changing keys, I open up the perspective and was able to find it. But yeah, on this particular case, the change in key wasn't that drastic. It was just a whole step up, right? So it was enough for me to be able to change a few things and get more into the open string territory, which is great, right? So I immediately open up the voicing, right? So instead of that's a great part for the, but so I have to go here or here, not that great, but here I can go here. You open up a lot already, open string wise as well. the change of key here wasn't that bad. But as I was saying in the question before, like I challenged myself. This one I just changed the key to be able to kind of do a few tricks that I want to try. But when I'm like in a sort of a discovery practice kind of routine, I challenge us to just take a weird darker key or something. It's like a tritone away or something, and that will trigger some other progression or some counter melody or bass thing or a lot of cool stuff. But to answer the question again, it wasn't a lot of work because the change was not that drastic. It was just a whole step up. So I was first of all kind of like safe with the similar shapes I was playing, and then I was able to change to an open string or a different thing if I wanted, which I ended up going for. But this was a safe kind of bet. So thanks for the question. And yes, let me see. Oh, I got a question by Udi. How's it going, my friend? The link in your Facebook post doesn't work. Highly recommend learning with the show master Brazilian. Brazilian guitar talk. Maybe let me know about which link you're talking about. Is it in the group, or because I haven't shared that link yet here? But I appreciate the call out, and great to see you. I will talk about this website in a second, but that's the sort of the question that I got from Bill. So that's what happened there. Before I go for the last thing, and that's what Udi was sharing gracefully. Thank you for sharing that. If you want to learn a little bit more, go a little further, you have different ways of contacting me and getting access to me. A more informal way or more formal way. I do have programs and things like that. I have a free group, and I also have just a call. If you want to call and ask questions and things that you need me to just kind of give you a little path, a little opinion on a route, roadmap for you to study, you can contact me through this link, Brazilian Guitar Talk, that we share here. That will get a calendar, and you can schedule a call with me, and it's really straightforward. It's really simple. If you want to get a little more information as well, I have a free community, which is at this address here, gocollab.com/Brazilian guitar, collab with K and 2 L's. That is free, and there is tons of content there with PDFs and things like that. It's a great community. We are now over 210 members. It's growing very quickly, which is I'm really happy about it. And I do obviously have the Brazilian Guitar Institute, my sort of flagship program where you can work directly with me. It's a mentorship thing, and I have students from all over the world. I have some students here in the thing. Mark is here, guilty that he's like writing everything on the paper, like he's a member of the BGI, and you can know more about this program here on this website. And then there's an option to get a call with me to talk about that, but you can just book a call to talk about anything that you want guitar wise. Brazilian Guitar Talk, I can talk about that, or the program. I do have the program, but it's free. A call, I'm not gonna be like selling you this stuff. If you feel interested and a little more, I can tell you about. But also the free community, you can take advantage right now. It's free. So without further ado, let me try to play this thing on a solo version. There's another comment here. Taro, lá do Japão, vocês viram seus tios hello from Japan. Taro. Arigatou gozaimasu, man. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to go back to Japan. It seems like next year I'll come back to Japan. So I am crossing my fingers that will hopefully happen this next year, and I'd love to see you there. And thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate it, my friend. Let's try then the solo version of Você Vai Ver by Jobim. Let's see what I can come up with. And again, thank you very much for being here with me on this great Saturday. Let's see what comes up with this. that's what we got for today. Whatever the version was, I tried to use some of those tricks there. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but that's the beauty of the live. Thank you so much for being here with me. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you in the next one. It was fun. Oh, we got 1 hour and 14 minutes. Wow. All right. Thank you so much. Merci, Danielle. Thank you for being here. And I will see you guys on the next one. Again, if you want to give me a call, let's talk about it. Let's chat about guitar, about what you want, about what you're working on. You can also get to the community there in the BGI flagship program. You should join it. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon.